All right, let's get right into it. Think about it. A business is kind of like a massive ship, right? Its mission is to navigate the seriously treacherous waters of the market and hopefully reach a prosperous destination. So, what happens when that ship doesn't have a map, no compass, not even a clue where it's headed? Well, it just drifts.
And this is the question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps founders, executives, anyone with skin in the game, really, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. Is it just bad luck? Some random rogue wave that nobody saw coming? Or is it something deeper, something much more fundamental?
And boom, there it is. That's the heart of the problem. A ship without a port to sail to is just driftwood, basically. And a business without a plan? It's the same thing. It's an organization just waiting to run aground. It's constantly reacting to whatever the market throws at it, but it's never, ever actually steering. Okay, so how do you stop all that drifting? Simple. You need a North Star. You know, that one fixed point in the sky that tells you where you are and where you're going. For a business, that's what a corporate plan is. It's your map, it's your compass, it's the destination, it's the whole shebang, all rolled into one. So what exactly is corporate planning? Well, at its core, it's this huge company-wide process that sets the long-term direction. We're not talking about what you need to do by Tuesday. No, this is the big picture. This is the blueprint for the entire voyage. And it's all about answering those three massive questions. What are we even doing here? Where are we trying to go? And probably most important, how in the world are we going to get there? All right, so let's break this blueprint down a little. Think of the vision statement. That's your dream destination. You know, that beautiful, faraway port you're aiming for. Then you've got the mission statement. That's kind of like the ship's manifest. It tells everyone what you do, who you're doing it for, and how you do it. And the corporate objectives? Well, those are the critical waypoints on your map, the specific islands you need to reach to prove you're actually on the right track. Okay, this is a big one. People get corporate planning and strategic planning mixed up all the time. But it's actually pretty simple when you think about it. Corporate planning is the entire journey. It's everything from dreaming up the vacation to getting home safe. Strategic planning, that's just one piece of it. It's where you decide how you're going to get to your next destination. Are we taking the super fast highway or the scenic route? It's a super important decision for sure, but it's just one part of the bigger trip.
Right, so no good captain would ever just untie the ropes and head out to sea, would they? Of course not. They check two things first. How's my ship and what's the weather doing? In the business world, we call this strategic analysis.
First up, you got to look inward. And the classic way to do that is a SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? You know, maybe you have a super fast ship or an amazing crew. What are your weaknesses? Be honest. A small leak in the hull, maps that are 50 years old. Then you look outside for opportunities. Hey, the wind is in our favor. And threats like, uh-oh, pirates on the horizon. And the key here, the real key, is being brutally, painfully honest with yourself. A captain who pretends their ship is faster than it is or ignores that tiny little leak? Yeah, they're asking for trouble. So after you've looked at your own ship, you need to scan the entire horizon. That's where a PESTEL analysis comes in. This is all about the huge, massive forces that are completely out of your control. Think about it. New political regulations could be like a hurricane forming way out at sea. A big economic downturn, that's like a powerful current that can pull your whole ship off course without you even realizing it. And technology? Wow, a new technology could pop up and make your fancy navigation gear totally useless overnight. The bottom line is, you have to understand the world you're sailing in. Okay, so you've got this amazing map, you have the most detailed weather forecast ever, you know exactly where you want to go. Perfect, right? Well, here comes the hard part, the really hard part. Now you actually have to get in the ship and sail. This, right here, is where the battle truly begins. And I absolutely love this quote. Planning is theory, implementation is war. It's just so true, isn't it? Your perfect plan is nothing more than ink on paper until it gets slapped in the face by the real world, by the stormy seas. And that's why implementation, actually doing the thing, is everything. It's the moment of truth. This is where most plans, most voyages, and yep, most businesses fall apart. So how do you actually win this war? Well, you need a seriously disciplined game plan. And step one, and you could argue this is the most important step of all, is to communicate the strategy.
Look, the hard part isn't just making the plan, it's getting your whole crew to believe in it. After that, you've got to break it down. Give every single team, from the folks in the engine room to the guy in the crow's nest, their own specific part of the map. Make sure they're set up to succeed and give them everything they need, the tools, the training, to weather any storm that comes their way. But of course, there are dangers everywhere. This chart basically shows you all the hidden reefs that can completely sink your plan. You've got things like employee resistance. That's like a mutiny quietly brewing below deck. Poor communication. That's when the captain shouts an order, but it just gets lost in the wind. A lack of resources. Well, that's like realizing you're out of food and water halfway across the ocean. And weak leadership? That's a captain who panics at the first sign of a big wave, and the whole crew knows it. Let's be real. No trip ever goes exactly according to plan. Ever. Storms pop up out of nowhere, the wind changes direction, the currents pull you around. A great captain knows this. They don't just stare at the original map and pray. No, they're constantly checking their position, looking at the compass and adjusting the sails. And that process, that's called strategic control. It's really just a simple but constant process of asking 3 questions. 1, are we still pointed in the right direction? 2, are we on schedule? And 3, if the answer to either of those is no, what are we going to do about it right now? And the good news is you've got a whole dashboard of navigational tools to help you out. Your KPIs, your key performance indicators, those are your main instruments. They tell you your speed, your direction, all that good stuff. Then you've got things like variance analysis, which is just a fancy way of comparing where you are to where your map said you should be. And of course, getting feedback from your crew, and maybe even other ships you pass. That's like priceless intel you can use to make smart, on-the-fly course corrections. So, after all of this, all the analysis, the planning, the brutal implementation, the constant checking and rechecking, you have to ask, why? Why go through all this trouble? What's the big payoff? What makes this incredibly difficult journey worth all the effort? Because this is what you get. A clear direction means you're done with drifting forever. Your entire crew is rowing in the same direction at the same time. You start seeing storms on the horizon and preparing for them, instead of getting slammed out of the blue. You stop wasting time and money. And in the end, it's not even just about reaching the destination. It's about building a ship, a company, that is so strong, so agile, that it can outsail anyone else out there, no matter how rough the water gets. So as we wrap this up, think about this. The question isn't really just about business, is it? It applies to any big goal you have. Having a plan is great. Charting a course is even better. But if you don't have that one clear, unwavering North Star on the horizon, that thing that guides every single move you make, then you're just drifting. So the real question is, what's yours?